The first take this morning, busy show today. Miami Dolphins are reporting that Tua has fractured his ribs. He is out on Sunday. Jacoby Brissett will get the nod. Marcus Spears back with us. Miami plays the Raiders in Vegas on Sunday. Marcus, your reaction to this?
This bothers me a lot, y'all. And it bothers me because Tua Tagovailoa is about to get the injury-prone tag associated to him. And it's unfortunate. He dealt with the injuries, obviously, in Alabama. We knew the injury that he was coming off of with his hip coming out of college, and now you have a rib fracture. And look, let me say this, because people get it misconstrued when they think you're talking bad. Tua takes hits. He holds the ball. Obviously, this particular situation, and you can call it an anomaly, right, with his ribs being fractured this go-around. But it's a part of his career now. It's something that people are going to have to start paying attention to. Stephen A., I don't know if you remember, but we had the same discussion with OBJ. And I was like, at what point do teams start to say, this guy's injury prone? We may not have him. His availability may be in question. So with Tua in his young, early career, this scares me a lot about how people's perception of him will be.
Let me say this to you, and I like Tua Tagovailoa a lot. I don't give a damn about the point that you just made. He's not that priority in my mind right now. He's completed 54% of his passes this year, relatively average and pedestrian, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, nothing to brag home about, has been nothing to brag home about dating back to last year. Why is that relevant to me, Swagoo? Because I'm thinking about the brothers, Brian Flores and Chris Greer, who had the number 5 overall pick and passed up on Justin Herbert to take Tua Tagovailoa. Knowing that he got injured at Alabama, had that nasty injury, okay, came into the draft, all right, injured already. There were questions about him. And now we see Justin Herbert looking like an absolute stud. I mean, you got people that have brought up John Elway. They brought up Dan Marino. They brought up people like that. When you see this brother's arm, his ability to make those throws, except Brett Favre, they brought up guys like that when talking about Justin Herbert. And so to me, even though we wish nothing but the best for Tua, we hope that he's healthy, and we believe in his skill set because we saw what he did as a national champion at Alabama. We get all of that. The flip side is that you and I both know, Swagoo, that if this doesn't work out for him, they ain't going to say injury, injury, injury. They going to say you had a chance to get Herbert, and you passed for Tua. And that is what concerns me. That's what I don't like about this.
But let's not live in that world, bro. And I got to pull you out of that, because Tua Tagovailoa's career in college told everybody he should be picked before Justin Herbert. All right. And look, I know we sitting here now and we got hindsight, and I understand what you're saying. That pressure is absolutely applied because of the success that Justin Herbert is having right now. But remember this, man. Justin Herbert was a guy that a lot of people thought would not turn into the guy that he is in the NFL. A lot of people that cover the draft, a lot of people that cover players talked about his athleticism and what he did from look like a quarterback standpoint.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is this: I'm not going by. You're talking about questions that Herbert had coming into the draft. I'm saying those same people. I'm talking about from DeMel Kuypers and Todd McShays to all the outstanding NFL analysts we have here who have watched them play and what have you. Even though you saw stuff on a collegiate level, guys like yourself and others who watch both, and you was working, you doing SEC football, so you watch two and others. But in the same breath, y'all watch a cat on college, then what y'all do is y'all project based on what you know the NFL game to be, who would be the guy. So all of a sudden, Tua was a bit miniature, a bit short, and as a result, and not only that, wasn't the most bulky dude in the world, how much of the NFL punishment could he take, et cetera, et cetera. And there was a huge debate as to whether Miami should take him or Herbert. It wasn't like it was a foregone conclusion that it was always going to be Tua.
Yes, and say yes, but think about this. When you want to go back to the draft, think about Tua's career at Alabama, and think about who people were comparing him to. Everyone thought that Tua would turn into Russell Wilson. That
Yes.
is what people thought.
Yes.
And that projection was right because of his accuracy, because of his production, and the things that he did in college. Justin Herbert, we all thought Justin Herbert was a good player, but Justin Herbert was in a system that didn't allow him to show what Tua showed. And that is the conundrum of the draft. Like right now, they got people saying Mac Jones would be the first pick overall if we did the draft all over again. Nothing about Mac Jones told you that his skill set would resonate in the NFL better than the guys that were drafted ahead of him. His situation
His
in New
situation is
England
what does
is
that.
better.
Yes.
His
Yes.
situation is better.
But
so
we don't disagree. I'm totally with you. I'm just saying that it wasn't as clear cut in terms of, leading up to the draft, y'all had us. Football aficionados had the rest of us saying, well, damn, who they going to take? Because it became that storyline, Herbert or Tua. That's all I'm saying. It became that.
listen, for me, it was Tua. Because
Okay.
I saw this league and I understood what they were looking for.
It was me too.
I understood what they were looking for. But now, what we talking about today, the injury tag being associated with you, with the things that you just pointed out about his production, obviously is going to call into question if he can be a guy or the guy going forward.
Got it.
Listen, 5 starting quarterbacks already that we're dealing with. It's week 2. Carson Wentz is another one who's going to have to deal with the injury tag. But I want to get to Stephen A's quarterback. So the news of Big Ben's pec injury has many in Steeler Nation asking questions about the quarterback's future, but also the future of the team this season. Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins are the team's backups if Roethlisberger can't play. Former MVP Cam Newton is still available after being released by the Patriots. Big Ben spoke today. Let's hear that fresh sound.
I don't know how it happened. I just know it happened early in the game, and I'm gonna do everything I can. Today is only Wednesday, so we have a lot of time to get ready to go. I haven't thrown a ball since the game, so I know you have a lot of adrenaline going during the game.
Swagoo, what do you think? If you're running the Steelers, should they sign Cam?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only to bring in a presence, but to move. Like I talked about with Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph. And Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph shouldn't be the reason you don't go out and try to get Cam Newton. And Cam is not far removed from the NFL. He did go through an entire training camp. He's a big dude. Physical stature. Obviously, you concerned about him being hit in the pocket, but at least Cam can sidestep, move out of the way, and potentially do some things. And hell, if you're going to throw the ball in 2.0 seconds, Cam can do that just fine because he did it in Carolina in his last year and was effective. So I look at this particular situation with the Pittsburgh Steelers as a better option for Cam than it was in New England, based on what he's going to be asked to do with the weapons that's around him in Pittsburgh, based on what Stephen A said earlier about those guys that he can throw the rock to.
I'm piggybacking off of your point. You and I are aligned in this thinking because as much as I lamented the fact that if Ron Rivera and the Washington football team, once Ryan Fitzpatrick went down, if they didn't call Cam Newton, I was concerned about Cam Newton's career being over. But as you reflect on it, and I still feel that way because I believe teams are going to be hesitant to call him, but I think the Steelers should call him.
Yes.
I think the Steelers should try and get him. Listen, you're going to get rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds. That's one thing. You got these weapons. That's another thing. He can run with the football. Now, granted, he's not as mobile as he used to be, but he's considerably more mobile than Ben Roethlisberger, and he's younger. And so the combination of those two with Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins as your options, hell, why hasn't Cam been called already?
And
That's
say,
how I'm looking at it.
Let me go a step further to your point. The Pittsburgh Steelers should have Cam Newton in their facility right now.
I agree.
He should be in there right now,
I agree.
getting a physical and them taking a look at him to be their starting quarterback. Not to come in until Mason Rudolph is ready, to be their starting quarterback. That's where Cam Newton should be. So to answer
There's nobody that should be playing before Cam Newton but Ben Roethlisberger.
No one.
Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins shouldn't even be thinking about playing before Cam Newton. No way.
It's a lot of things we're going to argue about football this year, but this ain't one. Cam Newton need to be on a jet.
I got some other big news, guys. It's Bucks-Rams this weekend. Remember, we were talking about you potentially going to the game. Antonio Brown on the COVID list.
Oh, damn.
In case you missed it, check out the interview.
Shout
It'll
out
be
to my
online.
niece at Hampton, Jordan.